Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. And we are live, I believe. Let's get that video going. Thank you. Well, Monday, February 13th, day before a huge and hugely anticipated CPI report. Markets were healthily green today. Volume was a little on the lighter side. And after, the sell-off last week, not too surprising to see some short covering. I think the VIX was relatively unchanged. It was green most of the morning while stocks were rallying, which usually means there was a lot of short hedging going on further out. So there is some anticipation of a potentially hot CPI number. But we shall see. A couple things I wanted to touch on today. Obviously, we've been talking about the Carl Icahn trade. Interesting. He, like I said, last week he bought, what did he buy? 24,000 puts on the S&P futures contract. S&P minis at $40.50, and they expire this Friday. He bought them around $21. They rallied up to $50. I think they touched $60 at one point. Nope, I'm wrong. $52.33. I don't think he sold a single share, or a single contract rather. And this thing's all the way back down to $14. He's now offsides. He had a double and went offsides. Interesting. Very interesting. He hold on, sorry, one moment. He rode this thing for 150% gain. Didn't sell a single share, and now is down $6 on it. Talk about diamond handing, hodling, they call it. But we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings. If it's a hot CPI, things are pretty elevated up here. So who knows? Down 150 points tomorrow. I mean, down 100. S&P's right now is 41.36, 37. If he wants to make money on this trade at this point, he's going to need 130 point sell off to get back what his high was last week. So we'll see. We'll see what develops with CPI tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. Sorry, important message there. So we'll see. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't sell even 1,000 contracts. Just something to lighten the load. But, he's a GOAT for a reason, and we shall see. Stocks were, again, up pretty nice today. Microsoft had a huge day. I think last week we talked a little bit about that with ChatGPT and them integrating it into their search engine, thus stealing market share from Google. And Google's really been struggling since that botch presentation when it looked rushed and unfinished and unpolished. So we're starting to see a little bit of separation in that. One's going up, one's going down. The spread on that is widening, they'll call it. But Microsoft's trying to fight through this 272 area. Got up there early today and then settled back down. I mean, it was up 3.5% today, so it's still a real healthy gain. If CPI is good and this gaps up a little bit, this thing could run another 10 points real quick. 282, what do I have? I have, to be precise, if it gets through 275.17, It's going to 281.22. I think in quick order. If it get above that, then it's on its way to 300. Again, no one really knows the value of ChatGPT, and are they going to license it out? Are they going to how are other companies going to integrate it into their systems? And once we find out the pricing for it, then we can kind of put a value. We can start estimating value based on how many orders we think they're going to get, or as orders start rolling in, we can start valuing it a little better. But for now, it's just pure speculation. But I think they're clearly the market leader in that, and I think there's huge demand for that after they saw what it can do. So that could be a massive winner. I mean, Microsoft's already at what are they, $1.5 trillion or something market cap, which is, dear Lord. Stand corrected, it's a $2 trillion company. I mean, very well run, obviously, and $2 trillion is just outrageous for anything in my mind. So let's keep it. I mean, that's still my number one market good long stock. I think Nvidia also is a potential huge benefactor to the whole ChatGPT thing with the servers. If they if demand's huge, which I suspect it is, they're going to see a ton of orders. They're huge in cloud computing. And if the demand's huge, that's a whole nother sector of cloud that needs to be built out. Currently, I mean, it's been on a nice run since ChatGPT kind of announced itself to the world. NVIDIA was 150, now it's 218, but it's pulled back a little bit, about $10 off its recent highs. But I mean, this thing was a $340 stock at one point. Also really well run. It's the leader in the industry. So if similar to Microsoft, if the market's good tomorrow and this gaps up through recent highs, it can go 250 this week. I know, crazy moves in this market. With that said, the last CPI in December was highly anticipated as well, and it basically came in right in line. And it was just an IV crush everywhere. If you were long calls, you got screwed. If you're long puts, you got screwed. And market makers made a ton of money that day. So, again, I say if the market moves, if CPI is hot or cold and not just exactly what they expect it to be, then we can get some serious moves tomorrow. That's kind of what I was waiting for. I didn't do anything today, just watched and charted and prepped for tomorrow. Probably should have, because it was pretty obvious early that we'd do a slow rally today just to get everybody feeling good. So we'll see what develops. Remember Wish? The stock Wish? It's basically a e-commerce store that sells like super cheap products. I think at one point this thing was, let's see. Of course, shortly after its IPO, it rallied to, IPO day was around $20, and then it rallied to 33-ish. And then basically it was just straight down after that. And today it was trading at 64 cents. Which is pretty wild. But Andrew Luck from Citron Research came out with a 5-part tweet because he saw commercials for a very similar Chinese company that's basically the same business model, really cheap products, fast shipping. And then he looked at Wish, and good on him. They have over $890 million in cash. They have a $230 million credit line that's untouched. And they have 0 debt. And this morning, it was trading an enterprise value of $400 million. About half. I mean, if they liquidated the company, it would be worth, basically their cash in hand at a minimum. And it was trading at half that, which doesn't make sense at all with no debt. Doesn't make sense. So he called it out, and that thing doubled in 1 minute and then kind of chopped around for a while. Volume today was astronomical. 100 and give me 1 minute. It's like 150. Wish me. $162 million contracts traded. The average is about 20 million. What's interesting is it actually closed off the highs. Enterprise value puts it at $1.10. That's just how much cash it has. Their burn rate is pretty low. They're not making money, but they're not burning it heavily either. My opinion is this thing should be at least over $1, and right now it's 87 cents. If you go out to call it April, the 50-cent calls, April 21st expiry, 45 cents. 45 plus 50 is 95. I mean, that's free money with 67 days to go. Just an idea, just a thought. If tomorrow rallies more, then those will probably double. Quick trade, get in, get out, and move on to the next. I think a lot of institutions bought today. I think I saw JP Morgan bought 1.5 million shares. Goldman bought some. So we'll see. Keep an eye on it. Wish it used to be a meme stock for a long time. Remember that? Now, I think jailed Zach Morris guy. He got frauded for. He got sued for fraud because he's a pump and dump. Him and what was it called? What was their stupid group name called? I'm gonna look it up now. Zach Morris Trading Group. It was something really stupid, and all they do is post pictures of their ugly watches. Atlas Trading, of course. They'd post their, one hand on their BMW steering wheel and a shitty Rolex, and then would say like, "Great day in the market." Yeah, you just stole a bunch of money from quote unquote investor traders who don't know any better. You literally pumped and dumped a bunch of stocks on people. Him and I think 4 other guys, they would just they'd collect a bunch of shares of a low float company, collect a lot and calls too, and then they would all just start rifling off tweets. Oh, this is going huge, and they all had big followings. And I mean, if you're quick enough, you did make some dollars, but illegal, highly illegal, and the guy's a total D-bag. But this was one of his pump and dump stocks, which I think is part of the reason everybody forgot about it, and it went down to a $400 million market cap with 8 and change on hand. So anyways, I digress. Zach Morris sucked. Not from Saved by the Bell. Alice, which is Zach Morris. He should be in jail. I hope he is. And then I'll finish up with some Bitcoin, crypto news. Binance and Paxos got sued by a New York regulator to stop issuing their stablecoin. Binance USD, BUSD. Essentially handcuffing their whole business. And the reason they did this is because they say they support bad actors. And if you look at any of the reports on Binance and CZ or whatever his name is, it funneled a bunch of Russian money, Iranian money, billions of money laundering. And not Binance has always been a money laundering scheme, and all the crypto people, call me FUD boy. They don't actually, but FUD's like the most ridiculous term I've ever heard. Fear. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's like, no, if you ask a quality question, wondering why something's doing the way it's, if they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, or what's the long-term viability of this token or project, all FUD. That's just FUD. I've been in a lot of discords where I ask questions, really like questions like that, like, well, if they keep issuing millions and millions of these tokens, what do you think the value of the token does? Oh, FUD, get out of here. I've been banned from 5 or 6 different discords, which is embarrassing, because not for me, for them, because these are the type of questions you should be asking when you're investing. What's the long term? What are the possibilities of failure? If this, then that. It's not hard, and it shouldn't be frowned upon to ask constructive questions. And that's my problem with the crypto world, is most of the people in it are too emotional about it, too passionate about it, and you ask one side question and they get super defensive and tell you don't know what you're talking about and all this other stuff. Anyways, digress again. So Binance, somehow that coin is, I think it's unchanged. It's a stable coin, so it should be a $1 always. Yeah, it's down 0.004 of a cent. It shouldn't be down anything. It's a stable coin. It should be at 1 always. Which, if you think about it, doesn't really make sense. You're artificially holding it there. So how are you doing that? How much money does it take to do that? Anyways, Bitcoin's still trading around that 21,500 mark. It keeps trying to get below, but they keep holding it up. I have my theories on that, but I got a little too conspiratorial anyway, so I'll refrain from talking about that today. Tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, CPI report. Very anticipated. We'll see what happens. Should be fun. I'm watching Microsoft to the upside. To the downside, I'd throw out some SaaS names. ServiceNow has really just been going sideways for a week and a half now. If the market's bad, this thing can drop 20, 30. First stop's down 30, and then if it gets any lower than that, it could be down 40 really quick. Everything's pretty expensive. Premiums on most options are expensive for tomorrow because it's anticipating a move. So they jack premiums early, make you pay, and then the most people is don't move. Comes in line and S&P opens flat. Suck all that premium out and just take everybody's money. It's like clockwork. It's a casino. We're living in a casino, not a true free market of true price discovery and sound valuations. It's all just which big boy firms can push it around the most and which market makers can jack premiums and steal money. It's all just a casino. It's all just numbers. So you just try to play it and get in, get out. The longer you hold in this market, unless you got a serious banger, The longer you hold is a better chance of you getting skulled. Alright, well, I'll leave it like that. This has been a longer one. Sorry, Mondays are, oh, I got some questions in here. I'll do quick questions. Bad actors go everywhere. Same for them. Agree. Stop. Describe. Shh. You're not allowed to say that word. Yeah, they can't drive their car. You're right, because they can't really do anything. They're all crying for full self-driving, and that keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and because it doesn't work, and Tesla's not the best at it anyways. Just learn how to fucking drive your car. It's not that hard. It's actually kind of fun, and if you put a little effort in, it's not hard to do. You don't need to. It's like it takes more effort to drive full self-driving, because instead of just your hands already on the wheel, all you have to do is gas and brake. You're already looking around. Full self-driving, take your hands off and your feet off. Then you got two more extremities that are off the wheel and pedals, and then what's the reaction time on that? If it goes awry, which it does a lot, does a lot, then yeah, your reaction time is garbage, and then you're gonna hit whatever the car wants to hit. I don't understand why people want it so bad. It's not that hard to drive a vehicle. It's quite fun. I digress again. Thanks, projector. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of videos like that. Imagine someone hitting and looking at the passenger while taking a left turn, trying to passenger or person's walking across the street. I mean, you've seen the videos. You've seen some of these car wrecks. You see them accelerate into the back of semi-trucks. It's scary. It's not ready, and it's not needed. No one needs it. Literally nobody needs it except people who can't do it. If you can't do it, get off the road. Take public trans in all major cities. And if you're in rural roads, I mean, adaptive cruise control is pretty good, and that's on 90% of the cars. And if there's not really anybody else around, then there you go. Done. All right, that's it. 22 minutes is my longest one. Thanks for the watch. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck. CPI. Best of luck. Okay. Wait. I'm not ready yet. Okay, now I'm ready. All right, love you all. Thanks for the questions, Bach. Wait, there's one more. People that aren't allowed to drive. Yeah, they're not allowed to drive because they stink at life. All right, love you all. Bye.